Okay, so because the live I think was glitchy and YouTube is a pain in the butt, everything works with my connection on my computer. For some reason, when I go on YouTube, either to do a live or to watch somebody's else video, then it does this like weird your connection is unstable thing is, so I have to do videos this way, which I hate, but because I don't like my webcam and the way it looks. But you tell me. Anyway, so I wanted to read again. I'm always reading the nonsense these women are saying because, first of all, I know who she is. Her name is Chloe Black. She's the latest Jane Doe of the whole thing. And people say, well, the fact that she's not using her name is actually more proof that she's not looking for money. No, you fall for it. That was her plan, actually. Everything that she says on this filing is what we think. Not only me, but a lot of people on Instagram and on YouTube are saying the same thing. Her name is Chloe Black. She met him in 2011, and after a Grammy Award type of event in LA. She says on the filing that he made fun of her name and her country of origin. She's not from here, so that makes sense that it's her. And there's a lot of things that align with times that she was doing certain events and he was there. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. She doesn't say that it's herself. She goes Jane Doe. She doesn't want to say that it's her, but not because she's scared. This is what they want you to believe. She's not saying her name because everybody else already did. So there's no need. She's like the cherry on the top of all the accusations. And probably the most scary one, if you want to believe this happened, is terrifying. Her filing is the darkest of all of them. Of course she's not gonna say her name because she wants you to believe that she's for reals. It's like, oh well, if you were a gold digger, then you put your name on it. No, if you're really, really smart, you let everybody else put their name. And then at the end, you file saying that you're Jane Doe. That's very, very smart. So, Chloe, you're very, very smart, but we know it's you. Look her up, Chloe Black. She is an artist. And she actually has a nice voice and like a cool look to her, but because she did all this now, I don't like her. I never really did, but what's funny is that I was following her on Instagram because Billy Corgan, which I love, was linking a video of her and saying, oh, you should check this new artist. And when Billy Corgan is saying, check this new artist, he might be into something, right? So I check her out and I looked at her stuff and I click follow and I start following her, Chloe Black. It's weird. The moment I start talking to the Manson, We Stand by Manson people on Instagram, and then my list of people were pretty much Manson people, she blocked me. And I don't know this woman. I'm not into her circle. I don't know musicians. I don't know her. I'm nobody. She blocked me because I think the reason that she's blocking everybody who is for Manson. So, period. That shows you that they're scared of something. When you start getting blocked, I know that some people got blocked by Esme and by Ashley. When you're getting blocked, you know that you're right. You're doing something good when people start blocking you. People that you never really bother. I never wrote a note to her. I don't know. Anyway. So, she added herself around March. She waited. I'm telling you, she's a smart cookie, this one. She waited until March and then added to the big pile of BS. On Instagram, of course, on the police station called Instagram, and said that she was also abused by Manson. And then she was gonna drop an album, and the album the title track was called Title Track, and it was all about the abuse that she suffered when she was dating this famous rock star. She keeps hinting at it, and then she finally said it was him. The title track is called Title Track. It's not a bad video or a bad song. But you know what's funny? Chloe Black, I had like a YouTube playlist of things that you like, videos that you like, whatever, and half of the playlist were Marilyn Manson videos from the 90s. Another funny thing about her is that she says that I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me, and the whole Mechanical Animals album was her biggest influence to start making music. She's saying that Mechanical Animals was her biggest influence. Okay, you saying that about your abuser, like okay. And not only that, but she even copies his style in one of her videos. Remember the video for I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me? The Manson has that white silver hair, and it is very futuristic, and he's like kind of crucified with televisions instead of a cross. Well, she did the same thing on her video, same thing. And to not seem like she copied him, she said that he was her biggest influence. She said this like a year ago. Now this March, she went on Instagram and said that she was also abused by this big rock star. She didn't name him, but she hinted at it. And then she blocked everybody, including me, that we are in this Stand by Manson Defenders group. She blocked everybody, and she followed, guess who? She followed Evan, she started following Ashley, Esme. She was already following Evan, but she started following the Ashleys, two Ashleys, and some other people. And I was like, that is so weird. Anyway, so she was talking about him the whole time, and she used her abuse story supposedly that if it happened with somebody else, not with Manson. I always say that these girls might actually have a story. I don't want to be that person who says I don't believe any of them, I don't believe women ever again. I think there is a story behind it, but I don't think he did it. So I don't think the whole thing is fabricated. But when you are in a weird delusional state of mind, and you are bonding with other people based on your trauma, that I think it did happen, and people giving you attention, and people, it's not even about money. It's not about money. And you're getting all this attention and this praise for being a survivor, and you're getting a type of high. And I think this was happening to all these women. I'm not saying the abuse didn't happen at all in their life. I think in one point of their lives it did happen. That's why they know how to talk about it, because some of it actually I think it happened to them, but not by Manson. Let's ask Evan Richard Wood, who is the second guy and the bartender that she talks about, right? I think Chloe and Esme and Ashley, all of them probably have been abused when they were kids or even now, but they are using those stories and just switch them around and put Manson on it, because Manson is the easy scapegoat, and Manson is the one that was paying rent for everybody. It just reminds me so much to Johnny Depp and that type of generosity, and how Johnny was like, here, you need this, here, well, who needs a ride, who needs a penthouse? It seems like Manson did the same thing, even more, because Manson not having children, he would have more money for himself. And it seems like he opened his house to all these people and gave them all the supplies to collaborate artistically with him, and they stab him in the back. Period. So these girls might have a story. What I'm saying is not his story, because it's really hard to make something up from zero. I mean, it is possible, but it's more difficult. So I think a lot of these stories, some points in these stories actually sound really real to me. But then when you add Manson on it and this whole spooky thing to it, then it's like, oh my God, it turns into a joke when we read it out loud. But some stuff that sounds real. Again, I don't think he did any of this. What I'm saying is that I think some of these girls have been abused, and something happened to them, and that's why they're all bonding with each other, and also they're doing it for money, damages, They want money, and they love the attention. They love the attention. This is not about a paycheck. I don't know how to explain this, but it's not about a paycheck. It's attention, and it's what attention does to your brain. And you don't have to be a drug addict or an alcoholic to understand what I'm talking about. Endorphins, and you're getting this like I always compare when you're pregnant. No, when I was pregnant, I felt like I was famous. What the fuck? I didn't want all that attention. I didn't want people to touch. Why are you touching my belly for? Oh, but you're so happy. Are you happy? Are you happy you're gonna have a baby? It's gonna be the best time ever. Oh my God. And everybody was on me. I'm not even a famous person. So all that attention that you get when you get married, when you're pregnant, when you just graduated from college, and your whole family is happy for you, and you're like, I guess I did that, but that type of attention, would imagine that 100,000 million times more. And constantly people are praising you for being a survivor. I think eventually it gets in your head, and it got in their head. And this one, Chloe, is very smart. Not putting her name is the smartest move ever, because then people can't say that she wants money. Oh, but see, it's a Jane Doe. A Jane Doe doesn't want money. A Jane Doe is just doing it for justice. No, she's doing it because she wants the rest of them. It's gonna be a big case when it happens. And why she will say her name if everybody else already made the mistake of doing that? She's gonna remain anonymous, and I think that's very smart. That's probably what I will do. If I was in this group of monsters, witches, evil people, I'll be the last one. And that's in the testimony of the filing. I don't know, call it testimony, but what she filed is the most disturbing of all of them, of all the files. So it makes sense that she's not going to put her name on it, because she wants you to believe that she wants nothing but justice. And look it up. Her name is Chloe Black, and everybody knows that it's her. It's ridiculous for her to even keep denying it. So she filed this at the end of May, okay? And again, she's asking for complaint for damages, okay? Sexual assault in violation, California, interference with the exercise of civil rights in violation in California, sexual battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Intentional, of course it's going to be intentional. The law is weird. Emotional distress. Ashley Walters did the same thing. Ashley Morgan did the same thing. Esme, I don't think Esme Bianco used those words, emotional distress, but probably something different. That's very hard to prove, and it's hard to unprove. I always say that about this. The part that worries me about Manson is that how he's gonna prove that he didn't really stress them emotionally, and how they're gonna prove that he did. See what I mean? It's like, might as well don't put that on your file. Don't, because it's a waste of time for the lawyers, for the court, for whoever to be like, emotional distress is so broad, it can mean a lot of things. So unless Chloe Black has a bunch of emails from him, or text messages, or just crazy videos of him stabbing himself and saying her name, I don't know, stuff that is gonna look like he was emotionally distressing her, it's gonna be really hard to prove. Doing a fake bruise like Amber Heard and taking pictures of it is easier than proving emotional distress. But I don't know, she put it there. She wants damages, which is money. Jane Doe is Chloe Black. I can't believe that even for a moment I thought that it was a regular person, like a person not from the industry. Of course it's not a regular person. None of these girls are regular people, So when somebody comes and says like, oh, but they're so fragile when they were talking to Congress, and they were crying when they were talking to Congress. They are actresses. That's what they do, They do this Jane Doe thing at the end after all these accusations, so you believe that she's a nobody, but she's not. Her name is Chloe Black, and she's not a nobody. I mean, she might be a nobody in her head, but what I'm saying is that she is in the industry and she's friends with the rest of them, and she blocked me and everybody else that follows Manson, and she follows Esme, Ashley, and what have you, all of them. So that's not a coincidence. The one thing that she talks about in this file, there's one thing I want to, it's really weird, I can't even show videos of that because it's a lot. It's very loud and it's a lot. But she mentions the movie Groupie. The movie Groupie is a short film that he made, and then he didn't finish it. It seemed like it was kind of like too much. So Tony, this manager at the time, his manager at the time, said like, man, you might just want to just use this, maybe parts of it, but not the whole thing because it's a little bit much. Let's just put it away until we figure out what to do with it. And then he used parts of that video on the backdrop of Dead to the World tour. And you can see it on that video. What's interesting is that at the credits of Dead to the World video, he credited this woman. Her name is Paula Weiss. She says thanks to her, whoever wrote the credits. This is the girl who was in the movie, in this short film Groupie, that everybody thinks is a snuff, and then she's dead or something like that. Well, she's not dead. Her name is Paula Weiss, and she worked for Manson again after the Groupie film in the long run. You know what I'm talking about. I'm so tired. The Long Hard Road Out of Hell video. There's two girls in the video, and there's Manson. He's like naked. You can see his booty and stuff. He's all over the place. And he has a Pope outfit on. I love that video, but it's crazy. I think it came out in '96. And there you go. That's Paula again, the same actress that it was in the Groupie film. So she obviously didn't die. Not only she didn't die, but she went and worked with him again and with other people. You can also see her in the video of the song Push by Garbage, the band Garbage, and plenty of other bands she worked with. And she was also romantically involved with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. So she was in this circle. And what happens probably was, hey, I think it would be super cool, super perfect for this short film that I'm doing. Just the same that Manson did with Esme Bianco. The difference is that Esme Bianco is making it a dirty thing. And Paula was like, okay, let's make this movie. But I think it's the same idea. And the reason why he didn't use the whole thing is probably because people told him, just like his manager told him, that the video was too loud, that it was too dramatic, people were going to think it's real, so let's not use it. But though they used a little part of it in Dead to the World. And if you watch Dead to the World, at the end you're going to see credits, like there's all the technical, credits, and then it says thanks to Paula Weiss, which is the actress model. She is not in the business anymore because she went out to be a forensic psychologist or forensic something and work with like sick dead people, whatever. I think it's pretty cool. She quit modeling. She didn't die. She probably didn't quit modeling because of Manson. She quit modeling because she finally found out how evil the whole thing was, and it was like, screw it. And she was smart enough to go into college for be a forensic psychologist. So that's what happened to Paula Weiss. That's her name. I'm gonna put the name on the description because it's not Paula, it's Paula, P-O-L-A, and Weiss is her last name. This is very important for me to tell you this because in this file, Jane Doe, Chloe Black, is using the film Groupie as a point of Manson tortured me so much, he made me watch this movie, and I don't know if the girl is still alive or dead. So the fact that she uses the film on her file, it was a big mistake because it was debunked like this so easy by people going online and looking for the girl that was on the Dead to the World video. Oh wait, it's the same actress that is on the Long Hard Road of Hell video. Oh wait, it's the same girl that was dating Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. She's not dead. She just left the lifestyle and she's doing something else. And good for her. She didn't stay in the business. So Chloe, in this filing, she is making such a big deal on this movie Groupie. and saying that Manson made her watch it and forced her to watch the movie, and she's really worried about the girl being dead or alive. Well, the girl is alive. Nobody died in the movie, and Manson is really good at doing those type of things, and it make you believe that something is actually happening when it's not happening. And if he ever hurt anybody, it will be himself when he cuts himself on stage, or just, I'm seeing him doing that with a bottle and just getting bloody. That's the only person he ever hurt, I think, physically, is himself. It's a very sad realization I just had, but I think that's the truth. And then you have Johnny Depp, who's also self-harms, and these guys they're actually self-destructive, not destructive. They're not rapists and criminals and wife beaters. They are self-destructive. They self-harm. They cut themselves. They do drugs. Drug abuse is totally a form of self-harm. And Manson has been self-harming for years. So for all these chicks to want to sound like they're the victim, and he's the one cutting them with a Nazi knife and all that stuff, is so preposterous and it's so evil, because he's the one that gets hurt. He's the one that cuts himself. That's the big irony of this whole BS. So I'm going to make a second video about this, but first I wanted to make sure I talk about the movie Groupie, and the video Dead to the World. And that girl is alive. She's probably like my age now. No, she's older than me. And by the time that she made that video, she was above 18. So if she made that in 1994, she was above 19 in 94. And then in 96, she made a second video with Marilyn Manson and another model. Okay. And then she moved out to do all the things in life, but not because she was so traumatized by Manson, but just because she wanted to do something else with her life, which is good for her, really, because you're not going to be in that industry forever. Look what it's doing to people, seriously. So the fact that she disappeared, it means nothing most than, well, she got a change of heart of her profession, and she changed her lifestyle. So Chloe Black, making her main accusation on her file is about him making her watch a movie there's not a snuff film to begin with, because now we can prove that that was an actress. Her name was Paula. Her name is Paula, and worked with Manson at least 3 times, and with other bands. Oh my God! So you are making the main thing of your filing. It's like, I'll tell you, right, I'm suing somebody, right, and I'm going like, well, this was a cup of coffee. This was a cup of coffee. I am sure this guy gave me a cup of coffee. And then somebody goes and looks at it like, wait, no way, it's tea. Oh shit. I may base my whole case on thinking it was a cup of coffee and it was tea. Okay, well, this is what's happening with the last Jane Doe filing. It's stupid. It's so dumb that she would use something that was so easy to debunk for us on the internet, as all you gotta do is look it up. Look up Paula Weiss, look up Dead to the World, and look up Long Run Out of Hell video, and look up Groupie short film, and it's all the same person. So she's not dead, right? Unless she's able to be dead and just do all these videos for other people later in life, and became Trent Reznor's girlfriend. Not like the serious girlfriend, but one of the many girlfriends that he had. How can she do that if she was being tortured and being killed in this Groupie movie? Right? Not possible, one bit. Okay, I'm gonna start reading it, but it's really long. But just remember when I read it that movie Groupie is not a snuff film, and nobody died, nobody got really hurt. It was just acting and art, which is what Manson does. He is mostly an actor. He's a good singer, he's a good musician, he's a really good writer of lyrics, he's a good painter, but mostly he's an actor. This is what people don't understand about him. And this movie was acting. The short film Groupie, acting. And the whole mystery around it is more of what Manson wants you to think. And that's what he made a big mystery around the movie. And that's why he said, like, my manager told me not to ever release the movie because it's so bad it will put me in jail. That's more to it. That's more of the shock. That's more of the mystery. This is kind of what he does. He acts. He's an actor. So he's a performer. So he, in that movie, he was performing, and that girl was performing too. He's not going to destroy somebody physically and kill them, or at least knock them out, and then put a thanks to and put her name at the end of the credits. Like, seriously. So Chloe Black, you fucked up. I'm not gonna say Jane Doe anymore because pretty much sure that it's her. Okay, so defendant lure plaintiff, a musician into, yeah, is Chloe Black, a musician. A consensual romantic relationship. A short time later, however, he raped Jane Doe. He also subjected Jane Doe to further degrading acts of sexual exploitation, manipulation, and psychological abuse. Okay, wait. People need to understand what those things are and why they should be different in different columns. It's not all the same. Sexual exploitation, manipulation. No, you can manipulate somebody and not sexually exploit them. You can sexually exploit somebody, but it's not a psychological abuse. It will be physical abuse if you sexually exploit them. So the fact that they're putting everything in the basket like that, and they use terms like love bombing and grooming and gaslighting, and they make it so people just buy the whole package, and people go like, oh yeah. And what's just sad is that people out there beyond YouTube and Instagram are being very gullible, and they do think that he's a freak. I get in arguments all the time about it. Not really bad fight arguments, but do you defend Manson? Like, yeah, I don't think he did it. How come you don't think he did it? So it's all over, and not everybody's on his side. Mostly they're not on his side. So that's more to say about society than it is to say about Manson. How people just jump the gun because a group of people, in this case they're women, but it could be anything, anybody. The whole thing about power in numbers is BS. It's bullshit. Because then what? Then when a victim is just one single victim, then she's not gonna be heard of. She's not gonna get any attention because it's just one victim. Oh, but if there's 12 or 13, then yeah, then it happened. So it's a weird. What do you base it on that? What that boom? Yeah. So sexual exploitation, rape, psychological abuse, emotional distress, and psychological abuse would be the same, would it be? I don't know why they have to repeat that. It's pretty redundant. The psychological abuse is emotional distress. Mm-hmm. Then the part where they live, we know they live here, we know where they live, blah, blah, blah. We know where you live. That's a reference to one of his songs. They don't put their real address, but they put LA, California, and then she has 4 lawyers. At least 4 different names of attorneys. 4. These people are wasting so much money, and lawyers and stuff. This stuff is really expensive to do. Going to court is expensive. Going against Marilyn Manson and going against anybody in court is expensive. Going to get child support is expensive. They really think they have a case, otherwise they wouldn't be wasting all this money. And that's dangerous, and that makes me worry as well. Okay, so remember, this is the same apartment above the liquor store with the black walls, right? The same apartment that was cold all the time. The same apartment that he made people stay awake to hang out with him, and he sleep deprived them and food deprived them. This is the same place. If I find it incredibly weird to believe that Manson dated or hooked up with these chicks in 1 year with all of them at the same time. It's strange. It really is. That's what I think. A lot of it is BS. Almost all of it is BS. Plaintiff went to his residence located above a liquor store in Los Angeles. Miss Walters was there as promised, but it was clear to plaintiff that Warner was aggressively pursuing her despite the presence of his assistant. The assistant is Ashley. What they're doing is really, really smart. They're putting each other in each other's files because from Ashley Walters, it's a part of the file that she says, I witnessed him raping and abusing other women. I witnessed him doing this with groupies and with girls. So Ashley was trying to put Chloe in her file without saying her name. And now Chloe is putting Ashley on the file. Very smart. The assistant was there as promised, but the plaintiff was was pursuing her violently, whatever. Aggressively pursuing somebody, last time I checked, is that, I'm not going to say anymore, like, I don't want to sound like I like, aggression or violence, but guys pursuing you is kind of nature and it's kind of the way things go usually. I know, whatever. So very smart to put, it's my nose. I hang out with Manson too much. Bad joke. I have allergies. It's been raining here like crazy and it's like freaking dust everywhere after the rain. We had a thunderstorm last night, lightning and thunder. It was awesome, but it got me all messed up. My eyes are itchy too. Okay, so he showered her with compliments and gifts, and also spray painted a phrase in his bedroom regarding plaintiff's nationality, because she is not from here. She is from Germany, I think. So, okay. Oh, that's so scary. He spray paint his own living room. I know. I am 10. So let's just skip this. No, I'm not skipping it. I'm reading it. I'm reading it so you don't have to read it because it's annoying. But I'm not skipping it, but I'm just like going like spray painted while he was giving her gifts and praising because she is so beautiful. Okay, what an asshole. After the first meeting at this apartment, Warner started emailing him, texting her nonstop, and calling plaintiff more frequently. He invited plaintiff to go on a date with him to the ArcLight movie theater in Hollywood. Mrs. Walters drove plaintiff and Warner there in her car. They're so smart, these people. After the date of the ArcLight, the relationship between plaintiff and Warner became romantic and physical. They do not have intercourse for the first couple of weeks because plaintiff was not on birth control and Warner refused to use condoms. So he said to her, I'm not going to wear a condom. I am not going to say that's actually okay. That sucks. Okay, people should wear condoms. But let's pretend he said, I don't wear no condoms or whatever, it's your problem. And she said, okay, I'm going to get on birth control. It takes more than 2 weeks for birth control to actually work. You should not have any sex for at least a month because you might get pregnant. So she's saying right there that they didn't have sex for 2 weeks because she was not on birth control. That's a bigger problem right there. Unless there's something I don't know and there's some new type of birth control that is it works and changes your hormones in a couple of weeks. Usually it takes more than 2 weeks. So I think that's the first big gigantic lie right there. So 2 weeks later, when she was on birth control, they start having a physical relationship. Plaintiff said that he loved her. He claimed to want a serious monogamous relationship with her and asked her to move in with him. And what did you do? You did. You move in with him. Because all these people always go like, well, he asked me to move in so fast and he love bombed me and so fast. And but you did. But you did move in. So it's like, but you can't complain about it later. He might just be too fast the way he does relationships. That's his business. But you did move in. So you accepted that fastness. You accepted it. If it was so bad and it felt so uncomfortable and he was so aggressive about it, you would be like, well, okay, well, maybe. And you just keep your place because she had a place. Guess what? She had a place. So she moved in with him, but she had a place that she could go back to if she wanted to escape the evilness. But she accepted and she moved in. So, too bad, too sad. As my daughter will say, too bad, too sad. During the first weekend of March 2011, okay, Warren set on a trip to Japan for a fashion show. When he returned, he brought with him numerous gifts for plaintiff, including expensive jewelry and a pink kimono. Oh, God, the freaking kimono gate right now. Kimono. A pink kimono that he expected plaintiff to wear at his apartment. He also gave plaintiff a key to the apartment. From this point on, Warner made clear to plaintiff that she was required to be with him quite often, almost all the time, unless he had band practice or another engagement. Though plaintiff did not give her the duplex that she had in downtown LA, she had another apartment. She didn't give it up. Oh, that's smart, I guess. But he demanded she would, but she didn't. So she moved in, right? And he said, "Well, I'm bringing you a freaking kimono from Japan." I'm sure that's a pretty badass looking kimono. And he expected her to wear the kimono, and that, for some reason, is a bad thing. Warner became increasingly controlling of plaintiff. When he permitted plaintiff to leave or to go to her residence, Warner would text and call her all the time, and he would just or punish her if she did not return the calls. If plaintiff did not respond to Warner's text immediately, he would call angry and demanding to know where she was and who she was with. Warner will make such a text and calls at any time of the day or night, and he expected plaintiff to respond at any time of day or night. Okay, so you better have those messages, because we all want to read them. They seem very fun. I mean, if she's gonna make everything about his possessiveness and about his constant calling and constant texting, then she better add the messages, right? Warner slept much of the day. We often awake only at night and morning, and kept his apartment extremely dark. Ooh, yeah, it's coming. Sometimes pitch black. Very, very what? Very cold. Plaintiff was often disorientated, with unable to keep track of time because the windows were covered or blacked out, and she didn't know what time it was or what day it was. Maybe because she was too high, maybe because she was doing drugs or wearing that cool kimono she was wearing. No, it has to be his fault. She didn't know what day it was, it has to be his fault. I mean, there's like not a computer or a phone or a tablet that you can look at the day and the time. Like, seriously. Yeah. Despite the frigid temperature, how cold it was frigid. Warner refused to allow plaintiff to wear any clothes, demanding that she would be nude or that she would wear the pink kimono all the time. In addition to the darkness and being cold virtually all the time, plaintiff, they say they were all the time so much. These people are lawyers, they should know. Anyway, plaintiff was often hungry at Warner's apartment. Initially, when plaintiff moved in, Warner will allow her to eat and drink, but after time he started to deny her food, and Warner kept food for himself. I'm sorry, that sounds so cute. This is my hamburger. Don't eat it. I eat it. You go and starve and be naked and wear that kimono. You don't have to eat the hamburger. I get to eat the hamburger. I imagine like this sometimes. It's a freaking cartoon. These people watch too much movies and too much TV. It's a cartoon. He would just eat. And she wouldn't. She was there, fragile and naked and with her kimono on and cold, disorientated by the darkness and the coldness of the apartment. I'm sorry. I'm going to hell. Okay. In addition to the darkness and being cold virtually all the time. Okay. So he stopped her from eating. Okay. This is what they all said, right? Warner told plaintiff that because she was his girlfriend, she needed to lose weight because her weight will embarrass him. Okay, if you look her up, Chloe Black, you know what? She's skinny. She's so skinny, and she has always been skinny, just like Evan, just like Esme. Skinny because they're either natural skinny or because they're starved themselves, or they're on a diet since forever because they're either models, actresses, or skinny. But no, it has to be his fault. This girl's skinny, period. Plaintiff was frightened of Warner's fans. Warner told her frequently that his fans were extremely devoted to him and likely will hate her. It's probably the only thing that is true in something. They were frighteningly loyal to him and fanatically obsessed with Warner. So he warned the plaintiff like my fans are gonna bully you and harass you, because they've done that previously to other girlfriends. I don't know what. I never done that. I never harass anybody's girlfriends or the musicians that I like. Stupid. But I guess maybe some trolls do that, and some bad apples that make it look bad for the rest of us. But him saying to her, "My fans are very loyal. Just be careful who you talk to on the internet." I think if that happened, I don't think that's such a I don't know. I don't think that's such a negative thing if he actually said that to her, right? Because I mean, ouch. People are quite crazy. I mean, some people call him daddy, and they think the Manson's like, their sugar daddy, or their little daddy issues freaking fantasy, or they think that he's just gonna go out of nowhere and just father their child. I mean, those fans are completely insane. So the fact that he said to her, "Well, be careful with my fans," okay, that's the one thing on this file that I'm gonna believe. But I don't see that's a bad thing. Anyway, that he was actually trying to help her out. He often spoke about his extremely high IQ, his accomplishments, and his famous friends. Yeah, he's famous. He's gonna have famous friends. Jesus. The fact that he has such a famous friends and beautiful ex-girlfriends made Plaintiff feel and thought that she should put aside her doubts and fears and be the best she could just for him. Plaintiff was made to feel inferior to Warner's due to their age difference. He's much older. Well, yes, of course. He's much older. That doesn't mean that you are inferior because he's much older. You feel inferior because you feel inferior. That's kind of like your problem. A lot of people feel inferior even when they're with somebody they're the same age. It seems like everything is Manson's fault. Absolutely everything that ever happened to these people is his fault. So he's much older, and his status and power, and everyone around him also seemed to treat him like a king with extreme reference and adulation. So this made her feel inferior again. She keeps feeling inferior over and over. Warner told Plaintiff about the relationship with Evan Richard Wood and that he wanted to kill her. He told Plaintiff about a time that he had tied Evan Richard Wood to a chair and pointed a gun at her. He said he considered killing her, but then decided to be merciful. Warner recounted another story about the previous Christmas day where he had called Miss Wood 158 times and got himself every time that she did not answer the phone. Okay, we know this because he said it in an interview. So her putting on the file is almost like, well, you watch it on YouTube and you watch it just like all of us. It's an interview that he is being a weirdo, and he's saying that he called Evan a bunch of times, and every time that Evan didn't answer, he cut himself. Might be true, might not be. It's Manson. Maybe he cut himself a few times when she was not answering the phone. But this is like, she actually got this interview from YouTube and put it on the file. It's how freaking unoriginal these people are. There was a few key moments or milestones in the relationship where Warner implied to Plaintiff that he was honoring her such when he first gave her the keys to the apartment. The biggest of his honors or benchmarks in the relationship came when he told Plaintiff that he had decided he wanted to show her a videotape called Groupie, which he claimed to have made in the 90s, which he did. He kept the videotape locked in a safe and told Plaintiff that the only 3 people in the world besides him had ever seen the video. It's probably, I think he's referring to Twiggy, the manager, and somebody else. He told Plaintiff that if he showed this to her, it was because he trusts her completely, and this was incredibly meaningful to him. Okay, again, this is Manson acting. This is Manson being Manson, okay? And then that's what I'm making on my video. I was talking about the movie Groupie to let you know that this movie is not a snuff and the girl's not dead. It's not some type of porn revenge snuff film. That is an actress. They worked with him several times after that, at least 2 times. So this is when she's going to start talking about how it went down. And I'm just going to keep going in the next video because item 21. Okay, so watch my second video because I gotta pause. I don't really have to. I can keep going. I just don't want to make it a big chunk of it. So pretty much until now, I'm gonna read the rest of the next video. Pretty much until now, you see that we have Jane Doe, which her name is Chloe Black. I am 99.9% sure that it's her, saying that he made her feel inferior because he was older than her. He made her wear the kimono in the cold apartment. He made her starve, okay? He made her move in. I mean, she accepted the key and she moved in, right? And he made all these things and emotionally stressed her so much to the point that she started isolating from everybody else. That's another thing that they use a lot. These women use a lot on their filing, their isolation aspect, and that can be easily debunked because Evan was working, Esme was working, going to events. I don't know about Ashley Walter was working for him, but Ashley Moore was probably also working. She was a model. I don't think any photographer is gonna want to work with you if you full like of blue and black bruises, like Ashley says that she was. That would raise an eyebrow in the industry. They're gonna be like, well, who did this to you? And even if she said nobody, they will investigate it. So these girls were able to work and to go to premieres and to go to events in Hollywood, but then they stopped talking about isolation and how they didn't go anywhere. So that's never going to click in my head. None of this. The only part that I believe is that he told them that, yeah, my friends are kind of cuckoo, so be careful. It's probably true. But I'm going to keep reading it on my next video. The reason I'm doing it this way is because it's very large. Because then we get to the meat to it when she's going to say that she felt so bad because the video was so real that she was going to pass out, or that she did pass out. And the video that she's talking about is the video that is actually makes it looks real. Remember like the movie Blair Witch Project? In the 90s, it was very it thing to do, was to make movies, with your hand, either not with phones, but with little cameras, and just shake it in a very shaky, very desperate, very claustrophobic feeling to it. Everybody was doing that, not just Manson. A lot of directors were doing that. A lot of music videos were doing this. Some video from Garbage. The song is Queered. The whole video is she's holding the camera and it looks like she just killed a man. All right. So this was something that people did. So the video was used for the Dead to the World thing. So what I'm saying is, like, if this was really bad and something that he really was hiding because the model got hurt, let's not say kill, got hurt or something, whatever, why he would put it, he will use parts of it for Dead to the World. Why? And then give her credits as an actress to the girl that he was supposedly torturing in the video. Just leave you with that, because trust me, it's gonna get better on the next one. And don't go and fall for any guy that wants to wear a kimono. Tell them you can wear the kimono if you want to. They make him sound like such a monster because he likes to give things to people. No, he's a bit of in that sense, I think he's kind of classic and old-fashioned. That's probably why D-Tab1Ts liked him, because he is that type of guy. He just wants to give you stuff, and it doesn't seem so negative to me. The whole pursuing. A lot of women like that. I'm sure that Dita liked that because she's very old-fashioned like that. So these things are so in the middle. So in the middle for me. It's not all black and white, but she's definitely full of shit, just like everybody else. There's talking these things about him, and there's maybe a couple things that I can say, well, yeah, he moved so fast, he moved in too fast with them, or he told them to move in, and I said in many videos before, is that's his business and his personality, and we are nobody to say, well, he should change. No, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, but I think he had changed, and I think the person that he's with right now is worth it. very much. She is. But to criticize him because he drinks too much, or he stays up all night, or because he has the place is cold. I always said like my house, like in my house, is like 69 degrees. So he does what, 65? So 4 degrees different than Manson. I might be like, oh my god, I'm a criminal. When I'm alone, I keep it really cold because I get very hot, and no matter what is outside the weather, I'm always hot, and also have a lot of hair. So I keep it cold. When the kids are here, I keep it more normal, natural. But when I'm alone, I keep it cold, about 69 degrees. So I must be just same type of weirdo. Also, the whole food thing, not eating. When you see these girls and you see their figures and the way they look like on their music videos or their TV shows, whatever they're doing, they're so skinny. It's a natural skinny person. So for me to believe the food deprivation thing, I'm gonna need, like, we all gonna need some proof that they changed a lot when they were with him, and then they got really healthy when they were not with him anymore. And go look at Chloe Black. Chloe Black looks super thin, and I think this is something that she's always been. And I'm not gonna be diagnosing people with eating disorders. I'm saying a lot of people is genetic and they're super skinny just because they're lucky like that. And I think that's the case with every Richard Wood. But no, it has to be his fault. So, thank you for watching. If you're watching this whole time, thanks. And I'm gonna come back later because it's gonna get really good. Look it up. Look up Chloe Black. Look up Groupie if you haven't. You probably had already. Compared to Dead to the World. Look up the name of the actress that I'm going to write down there so you can see it, and you will see this whole thing as like more. This claim is the most scandalous of all of them. And this is exactly why she puts Jane Doe. So people go and say, "Oh no, she has to be for real. If she was looking for fame, she would have put her name." No, that's part of the manipulation right there. That is a total. This whole thing is a total mindfuck. Allegation after allegation, they put their names, and then this girl coming after with the biggest one and the most dramatic allegation and being anonymous is part of their story, is part of the narrative. This is what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that this one is not after money or fame. Yes, yeah, because we already figured it out, and I say we because a lot of people on the internet already figured out who she is. So it would be actually probably more honest, and probably will actually sound better if she did put her name than do this whole game of being anonymous. And now people, you know how the internet works, people can figure things out really easy. And even people that are not doing YouTube channels, anybody can go on Instagram and find her, and you see that it matches the descriptions, everything. Everything, that she's not from here, how old she is, they met in a Grammys after a Grammy Award after party. There's pictures of them, paparazzi videos of Manson leaving with Chloe Black after a Grammy Award. There's just so many things that they're out there to look. So just put in Jane Doe. Didn't last too long. I think for like, maybe she was anonymous for like a week, and then everybody on Instagram started like, and they all figured it out. And I'm just saying it because somebody told me, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, sounds like the same person. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back and do something with this hair. Put it back because it's really hot, and I'll read the rest of it. I know it's annoying, I know, but that's why I'm doing it. Just like to suffer in the name of the cause. You know, really, when it comes to it, to be like in the category of like a fan and being a fan, I'm not more of a fan than I'm a fan of Billy Corgan, of, you know, anybody out there. I like Johnny Depp as much as I like Leo DiCaprio. You know, it's not like they're the only people that I like, but these cases, like they hit us in a different way because they are cases about people that are different, and people that are being used, to be scapegoats because they just happen to be eccentric or different. And I think a lot of Manson fans and a lot of Johnny Depp fans feel really strong like that because they are different. And that's in my case, at least, how I feel about this. Because, this has happened to me, and I'm not, what the hell? What are you going to get from me? Money or fame? You're not going to get my money. You're not going to get anything. But it happened to, what I'm saying is to the point of being space-goated, or that's a verb, to be the space-goat of other people's insecurities and be the root of their failure, of their drama. I've been there, and I'm usually there. And I think there's people like Manson and Johnny that attract, and they're magnets for victims. The magnets, they're suck people into their lives, like Amber Heard and Everett Wood and Esme Bianco. And that is just very dangerous because not only they're destroying their own careers, really, because nobody's going to want to work with somebody who's associated with rape. It's like, let's say I'm a movie producer. I'm producing a movie, and I'm like, okay, so who you want for the role? Oh, I want this girl, Everett Wood. And then somebody gonna be like, what? They want the Manson rape? Oh, no. We're not gonna hire her. It's gonna end up happening, and it's gonna suck because they're just gonna be known by this. Just like Amber. Amber's gonna be known by this that she did and that she's still doing. So at the end of the day, it's just really pathetic and really sad. And it's not a very good career move. It might get you all this attention. It might get you a good settlement of $7 million, $5 million. Maybe this girl's won $1 million. In the long run, you're going to be known and remembered as the person who put Manson or Johnny in jail, or the person who accused a guy. Not a perfect guy, he's flawed like everybody else, but a guy who's innocent, to either jail or jury trial or whatever punishment he might get or he might not get. Just because you were hurt, or just because you just want to be a victim. If you think about it, like Amber totally fucked her career over. She might get like the little makeup lines, to just still sponsor her face or whatever because she is beautiful. So she might still get those type of jobs. But when it comes to making a big movie, nothing's happening for none of them. So very stupid. The drug of the attention that you get from being a victim. What I'm trying to say, of moments in your life that you got married, or you got your first kid, or you finally graduated from college, or you're the first one in your family that graduated, stuff like that. It's so dramatic, and people just praise you so much, and baby showers, and weddings and stuff like that. And when it comes to it, you just go like, all right, everybody's enjoying this over there, but I'm here like, what the heck? I'm supposed to be happy. So attention is strange, and some people don't like it. I don't like it. So I feel like Manson is kind of the same type of human, that he likes it. He likes it from the fans, and he likes it when he's performing. But I don't think at home he's this big lone wolf that likes attention and wants to be praised and worship all the time, because he does that at his job when he does, live shows in the shows, when we're all going, that's where he gets it from. He doesn't go home and just expects the same thing from these women. I found that really hard to believe. That's usually the other way around with artists. The bigger they are in stage, they're usually super shy in person, and they're either insecure or shy, very, they're conflicted, because it's like you have, 40,000 people telling you you're the god of fuck, you're the god of whatever, right, on one night, and then you go home and then you feel like shit because you're alone, and you are the god of nothing. You're nothing. And that has to be such a weird feeling that then getting all these women into your life because you feel lonely or whatever, it seems perfectly, it fits though. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's a good thing that he let these people into his life, but it fit though. It fit, especially with Evan when he just divorced Dita, and the moment that she came into his life when he was like feeling like shit because he wasn't successful. He was in between. His album, the last one, kind of flopped, and she just divorced him. And then Lolita, Evan Richard Wood, walks into his life and makes him feel like a real man again, and makes him feel successful again, and makes him feel hot again, and makes him feel like he's not a failure. And boom, got him. And for people to think that she's the whole, I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna actually read Lolita. I'm gonna have to download it because I don't have it because that book is trash. But I'm gonna have to download it for free if I can, and I'm gonna read Lolita. Like, I'm gonna read it. Just like I read Rose McGowan's book that I have right here, Brave. I love Rose McGowan's book, by the way. It's a beautiful, awesome book. And again, she doesn't say one bad thing about Manson. It's all positive. A whole chapter of Manson saying that he's the best guy in the world. So anyway, I will read Lolita and to show and to kind of like remind myself that it's horrible. Being a teenager, a narcissistic, manipulative teenager that ruins people's lives, is not a good role model. So the whole hardship glasses and the whole Lolita thing comes from something very evil. So I don't know why she was out there giving interviews. Probably she thinks that we're so dumb that we don't read books or something. Anybody who read Lolita can say that it is not something to be, I aspire to be like Lolita. It is bad. It's bad news to be a Lolita. Anyway, so this is what I think. I think that they get on him in a moment of weakness. He doesn't feel successful enough, or he doesn't feel hot or cute enough, or he just got dumped or divorced, or he just having a bad moment, or his family, his father died right before this thing. And then that's the moment that you can just go in. If there's any victim in the situation, just like in Johnny's, it's him. Like I said, if anybody cuts them, it's him. He self-harms. He cut himself. He didn't cut people with a knife. He cut himself. Because we know from the past and from interviews and things that he does in shows and stuff, I'm seeing him bleeding, that he is self-destructive. You cannot be self-destructive and destructive at the same time. It doesn't happen. You either one or the other. I felt with Johnny, I don't know, I've never seen Johnny in person, so I don't know, I don't even know how tall he is, I don't know, but I know people have seen him and he has scars. He used to cut himself a lot, and then he covered them with tattoos. Self-harm is a big fucking deal, and it's really sad that these women are switching around and saying that they're the ones getting harmed and they're the ones being cut or burned, which we know the Manson would just destroy himself in any way that he could, and hopefully he stopped doing that. But it's a problem. It's a real problem. It's not something to fuck with. So and to project and to say, well, no, okay, he cuts himself, but he got me more. Yeah, he hurts himself, but he hurts me more. Yeah, he gets high, he destroys his whole immune system by getting so much cocaine in his body, but he got me more high. He got me more fucked up. He cut himself, but he got me with a Nazi knife. It's really, if you think about it, the more that you can dissect this whole thing and see that it's a big projection, and the real victim is him. Just like with Johnny. And by the way, I think there's more people now that believe, people like us on YouTube, that believe that Embers is full of it. There's a little bit of a shift out there when I talk to people, and I usually try not to talk about Johnny Depp or Manson, but sometimes somebody at work starts talking, they're not gonna talk about Manson because rape is something that you can't really say out loud. But Johnny and Amber, people talk about it, and sometimes I say like, well, it's not all black and white, not all, not all glitter is gold. And before, about a year ago, I was told that I was crazy. That how dare me not side with a woman? How dare me not be sympathetic towards Amber? And I used to say, well, because I have a feeling she's lying. It's a gut feeling. I don't know. We all have that feeling that she's lying. And I feel right now more than ever, people out there in the real world, not just Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, are believing Johnny. And hopefully it's going to be the same for Manson. I mean, it's going to take a couple of years, an hour, more than an hour and 5 minutes. I actually what's funny? I don't like to talk this much in life in general, but this seems, it makes me furious. That's kind of why I get. But anyway, now that you know the movie's fake, and the whole thing that she was talking about, the snuff was not a snuff film, was just fake, was acting. Now when I read the next part of it, it's gonna be even more funny. Anyway, you can go check out my other videos if you feel like it. I did a whole video on Evan and the Lolita archetype, and how she squeezed that to dead, not only on Manson but on all the men that she was with, like Edward Norton and Mickey Rourke, and she was working for Woody Allen, which I'm not gonna say anything, but pedophile. So a big contradiction on that herself. I am, like. Anyway, I'll go back to Evan eventually, but I don't have to I feel like I was beating on her all the time, no pun intended, because she is so interesting. She's so messed up. But her case is really, like, she has to be studied. I hope that in the future she gets in psychology books and people will be like studying her, like, all right, that's the definition of sociopathy, along with Amber, and victimhood and victim mentality and borderline personality disorder, narcissism, all that. Way more than the other ones. She is so much more interesting, and that's what I keep making videos on Evan. It's not like I hate Evan. Really, when it comes to it, I don't really hate these people. I feel bad for them. I do, because at the end they're shooting themselves on the head, on the foot, and they're gonna have shitty careers in the long run. You're not gonna be known. You don't want to be known by the girl, the girl who Manson abused, or maybe did abuse or didn't abuse, whatever the outcome is gonna be. You want to be known by that. You want to be known by, oh, I'm the one that got this $7 million divorce settlement, or you want to be known by your movies. Well, nobody's gonna remember Amber Heard by her body of work. They're gonna remember her for this. The same with the girls, the Manson women. It's sad. Anyway, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna turn the AC at 65 degrees so I can just be just like him. It's so cold. It's like I have it at 69 degrees right now, and look, just wearing. It is not cold. 69 degrees or 65 doesn't really kill a person. Okay? I mean, it's chilly, but it's not cold. Anyway, oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, cheers to that. Bye. I'll be back.